Welcome back everyone. Quickly, let's continue our discussion on CSS float property, and right now we'll be discussing about how to float an element next to each other using the float left in HTML CSS. Normally a div element will be displayed on top of each other because it's a block level element. However, if we use float left, we can let elements float next to each other like an inline element. So if you don't know what I mean by CSS, what I mean by block level element or inline element, you can check our CSS inline playlist or check our CSS block playlist to be able to follow along easily. We have a topic concerning that easily. So right now let's go and use our float level element. As you can see right here, we are still on this CSS float playlist. You can check everything concerning this CSS float property in our CSS float playlist to be able to follow along easily. Right here I'm having this document. We have discussed about how I did this text in our previous tutorial, how I put this image right here, and right now I'm having some div elements right here on top of our text right here. We are having these three div elements right here. Let me control the div element again. Let me give it another size so you guys can see how it looks. Let's give it 650 50 height, 50 width, because I'm controlling it using just one value. Can you see we're having 1 2 3, right? We can decrease it more than that also. Let's give it 30 30. We give it 30 30. You are going to see how it's still going to look. Let's reduce it. Can you see we're having these three boxes, three div element. I purposely make it smaller like this so you guys can be able to understand what I mean by this. So as you can see, we are having the rest document under it, right? Now let me show you the code that did all this for us. So I'm calling this is the blue box we are having right here, and here is the container, which is the green container. This green container right here that is having the blue box. These three elements right here are those blue boxes. Can you see 1 2 3? So, and the text we are having here, if you notice, we have a break. We have a break. The break is this empty space. We can reduce it by removing just one out of here and save our document and reload. When we reload, you're going to see, can you see we reduce this right now? We are having this text, and also we are having this image. The text also is right here, which is this long text, and the image that we control also previously is this image which we gave it right here. So everything, they are all inside what? Inside this blue box. So I want you to please keep following me along. The other box you are seeing next to me is this green box. As you can see, this green box right here is the one right here. I can comment it out to show you that it's really the one. When I comment it out, when I reload, you're going to see, can you see it disappears? So now let's focus on this box, this blue box inside this place. These three boxes I have here, I control the sizes. The three boxes right here, I gave it name any eta. Don't worry if you don't know understand what I mean by this. This is just a Yoruba language. I'm talking about 1 2 3 any eta, because I find it hard to put another something. I don't know, I don't want to give it something that I won't understand easily. That's why I give it that any eta. Can you see the three boxes I selected by multi-selector in CSS? You can check our CSS multiple selector. So to be able to understand what I mean by that, I selected multiple at once, and also I gave it all the same value at once. That's why I'm able to control all of it at once. So right now, as you can see, this is the div container, the main container that is having this green yellow, the one that all these three elements, all these three div elements, they are all inside this div container here, which is at the bottom right here. As you can see, we are having this we are having the div container. Inside the div container is where we are having the three other div containers. So the other three div containers is the one we want to control now by using this float property. Let's give it float and give it left, float left. This is the main property we are here for right now. Now let's reload and see what we got. Can you see immediately when we use float left, all our boxes align to each other by each other, they stay next to each other by the left. By default, our div element is a block level element, but now when we give it float left, everything turns to an inline element. They stay by each other side, so they are able to stay next to each other. So by using this float left, and you can use, let's specify float right and see what we got quickly. When we give it float right, let's reload our document and see what we got. Can you see the same thing, of course, because from the right, definitely anything we had from the right is going to be the way it's going to next to it. So I just want you guys to please stay put, because this float left of a thing is very nice when you want your element. Let's say for example we remove it now. If we don't have it there, you're going to see all our div element, they are going to stay on top of each other. Can you see? This is the 3 div elements. But if we give it float left, you are going to see all of it, they are going to come in line. Can you see? They are able to stay beside each other. So, and again, we can control the with the other property. We can give it padding also. We can just give it padding of let's give it padding of 7 pixels. When we give it padding of 7 pixels and reload our document, can you see? We are still able to see our document, but if you notice very well, everything is looking nicely. And we can give it margin also if you want. Also, you can just give it margin just in case you want margin. Also, you can just give it 9 pixels. If we give it margin 9 pixels, let's see what we got again. Can you see all of it? We are giving it 9 pixel margin. Can you see how they scatter, they behave? So just try your possible best and add some other properties also you have learned so far. Everything I'm showing you guys right here, we have discussed about it in our previous tutorial. Just search through the channel, you are going to see everything concerning this thing. Just search anything you don't understand, search through the playlist, you are going to find it there. So, and again, this inline box, the benefit of using this inline box, I'm going to show you right now. Let's say for instance now we change this our div element, we turn it to inline blocks. That's why we are able to see the green, this green border clearly. Now when we remove this display inline box, we're going to see what will happen. Can you see? We're not able, the div element is not showing inside this, is not showing as if it's the owner of these 3 boxes again. But just to know that, just to behave as if I'm the owner of the other boxes, I can give it display inline. So when you reload your document now, can you see? Now it's going to display as the owner of the 3 boxes. So we don't want you to hide because you are the owner of all these 3 boxes. So that's why we gave it display inline box, so display inline block. And if you give it display inline, the same thing happens. It's going to show as if it's not the owner of the 3 boxes. Can you see? It's doing as if it's not the owner of the 3 boxes. But when we, and also when we give it display block, also when you give it display block only, also it's going to do the same thing as well. That's why we gave it display inline block. Can you see? When I reload, can you see? It did like this. Also, it acts as if it's not the owner of these 3 boxes, but because we want it to act as the owner, so we want it to show that so you are the real owner of this thing. We want to know if it is the owner of these 3 boxes that we have at the bottom right here. When we give it display inline block, can you see? Now it's showing us that yes, I'm not invisible. I'm the owner of all these 3 boxes. And we can still control this our margin also. We can turn it to like 2 pixels. When we give it 2 pixels, we can still control it. When we reload, can you see? It's reduced. Can you see? Everything is looking nicely. So you can do much more things with this. And we can increase the size of this width and height also. We can give it like 100. Sorry, you can give it like 70 or 60. Let's give it 60. When we give it 60 also, it can increase just in case, because we control the 3 boxes at once. All the 3 boxes, it's going to increase. Can you see? They are all increased at once. So this is how we can control the div element inside the text content. So as you can see, everything is working so nicely. I show you how I created a div container. A div container is having this display inline block. That's why we are able to track it along with the element inside it, which is these 3 div container also. This one is having any edge header, the 3 div boxes. I'm going to show you also once again. As you can see, this one any edge header, the 3 div boxes inside this div container. So the div container, I want to add as if it's not the owner of the 3 boxes before when we gave it display inline. So it firstly acts as if it's not the owner of the 3, but when we turn it back to block, display block, it acts, it shows us that I'm the owner of these things. So that's the main thing I want you guys to understand. And also again, don't you forget again, if you don't give it float left, everything is going to stack on top of each other. Let me show you now. Can you see? They stay on top of each other, as you can see, because they are block elements. So when I give it display left, float left, can you see? Now they all stay in line. Can you see? They stay next to each other. And what akorede ayofe is my name once again. I wish to see you guys next time to the next tutorial. Peace and love. Have a great day. Thank you.